Come on.
All right, it's time again. It's franchise or bust time. Here I am, your fearful leader, Trevor, coming at you, ready to roll. And fortunately, as always, I have my fearless co-host, Katie, joining us. Katie, good to see you.
Thank you. Here I am, fearless, ready to not say much.
Oh, but the question she does ask. Watch out, boys. And what I gotta say
if I do ask,
when she chimes in, watch out. But I gotta say, we're super excited to have two amazing guests today. Franchise or bust first, to have two folks on from the same brand, from Caring Senior Service. We've got Scott and we've got Michael. Scott, Michael, thank you so much for being here. How you guys doing?
Great. Thanks for having us.
Good, Trevor. Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. So excited. So we're going to dive in. We're going to get to understand a little bit about Caring Senior Service. We're going to understand a little bit about what you all are looking to accomplish at the franchisor level, how you're going to grow, some things that maybe make you guys a little bit unique, how you're able to really service, not only your customers, but support your franchisees, et cetera, et cetera. So before we get kind of rocking and rolling into all that stuff, if you guys wouldn't mind, we'd love to know just a little bit more about Caring Senior Service. What exactly do you guys do? Obviously, you're caring for seniors, which we all very much appreciate, certainly. But maybe let us know a little bit about what kind of you guys do, what maybe your model is, and then we'll kind of progress on from there.
Sure. I'll start off, Michael. If there's something you want to add on, please feel free. Like you said, your boots on the ground earlier. So Caring Senior Service has been around for well over 30 years. And we were started by a gentleman named Jeff Salter. And our business model is very, very simplistic in nature. We are a non-medical in-home care company that specializes in taking care of folks in their own home. So a lot of our clients come from the 65 and over demographic, but we can definitely take care of anyone 18 and up. And it's all non-medical. So it's all respite care. So whether it's companionship or errands, light home, home chores, things of that nature, we're more than willing and able to do those things.
Outstanding. Yeah, cool. So, that's obviously a service and something that we are, everyone would kind of look at as saying that's kind of an inelastic product, right? Like there's always going to be a need, if you will, for seniors to be cared for. So talk to me a little bit then about you've got this large pool of clientele potentially, clearly, because of where it is. How do you all go out there and really get the message out and kind of differentiate yourselves in the space to help people understand, what they're going to get from Caring Senior Service versus maybe some other folks out there?
Well, as a franchisor looking for franchisees, or as a franchisee themselves looking for new clients for their area?
Great question. Let's do both. Let's understand both. So first, Talk me through maybe how it is that you would go about helping a potential franchisee understand the benefits of coming to be a part of Caring Senior Service. And then, Michael, this will probably be more for you. How do the franchisees themselves really differentiate themselves and help people understand why it's so important and why their loved one would be cared for so well with Caring Senior Service?
Okay, great. What we really talk about with the franchise candidate is super simple in the respect that we're really transparent. We're really picky about who we bring in. We're not big fans of churn. We don't want to just get the franchise fee and say, see you when we see you. We're very unique in the respect of having well over 30 years of the same ownership. And again, that's Jeff Salter, who started, believe it or not, back in 91. And he was a computer science major in college. He didn't even have a healthcare background. But he realized back in 91 that there was such a need even then for this type of helping that we do with folks. And, a lot of folks call it senior sitting or adult daycare, but it really isn't. We really want to build relationships with our clients. And so that's what we stress to our candidates. And the way we really come across with that is the fact that our owner and our VP both own franchises in our franchise family. So not only do they walk the walk, but they talk the talk. And that's very rare in a lot of different franchise industries, but specifically in our home care industry, that there aren't a lot of folks that have, number one, owned the same business outright for 30 years without any private equity taking him over. But also, number two, believing in the business model so much that they actually own franchises and are actively involved with those franchises. And they're not even necessarily local to our home office in San Antonio. Our VP's got one in Texas and one in Illinois. Our CEO, Jeff Salter's got 5 or 6. So they're spread all across the country. We also talk about something that's really near and dear to our heart too, and that is our technology innovation, which is hands down the best in the industry. And I can say that because we are truly the only tablet-based home care company in our industry, period. And we know this because we built the software. And when I say we, I really mean Jeff Salter because of his computer science background. But he built Tendio, which is basically our electronic central nervous system. And with Tendio, combined with our tablet-based technology, we can literally do everything a business owner needs, from bringing in clients, bringing in caregiver candidates, all the way through to billing and payment. So we can run the entire business off of Tendio on a tablet, and that is absolutely unheard of in our industry. So those few things alone really set us apart from the competition, and the fact that we really truly believe that we want to do all the heavy lifting for you. We want you to build relationships. This business, this industry is all about relationships, as Michael, I'm sure, is going to talk about in a second. So we really believe in the blue collar mentality. Work hard, stay humble, roll up your sleeves, get involved, and want to make a difference in the community and your clients' lives. Michael, I'll let you take over the soapbox from there.
Yeah, I think the question for me is what makes us different and what differentiates us just in the space. It really boils down to our owners really have a passion for taking care of seniors. Majority of them come in and they have some type of story that directly has impacted their lives, whether it's their grandparents or mom and dad. They were looking for care themselves and really didn't find anything that was our fearless leader, as you, Trevor, you kind of stated that you're the fearless leader, but that's Jeff. Everything kind of permeates down from him. He started this organization 30 years ago, as Scott mentioned, because he was working at a home healthcare company, and he kept getting phone calls where they said, "Hey, can you take care of mom? I just need somebody to come and cook dinner, or I just need somebody to help her, give her a bath." And he said, "No, we don't do that. We don't do that." So probably after about the 5th call, he said, "Yes, we do. We do that." And he had asked one of the caregivers at the home healthcare company, would they be able to go in and help a family with those type of tasks, activities of daily living. And so that's really how Caring Senior Service got its start. And that from those humble beginnings, it's made all the difference with us, because he really didn't know, like Scott said, he didn't know much about the medical industry. So he just did what made sense to him. For instance, one of the things that we do different than everybody else is we introduce our caregivers to our clients. So management is going to go into the home and make a caregiver introduction. And it doesn't matter if that family has been with us for years. Every time we get a new caregiver.
Gotcha, man. Yeah, that's awesome, Michael. And, and I think that, so what I'm taking away from kind of what both of you guys just said is, you've got a great foundation. Your foundation is built on, someone who had a vision, someone had a passion for making sure that really putting senior care first and what is needed and what was maybe missing inside of the industry. Michael, like you said, there was a hole there that he recognized that, hey, this is the direction we should be going, and really pushed you guys in that direction to really, have a service that is excellent for your potential customers. And then, something I also found interesting, Scott, that you were bringing up is the technology piece. When we speak to different franchisors, that's one thing that we always tend to bring up is how are you leveraging technology? How are you leveraging technology to really be successful? How are you leveraging it to make sure that not only you're providing your customers with a great experience, but you're helping your franchisees be that much more successful because the technology you're leveraging. So, Scott, you mentioned it, and you mentioned it's unique, but maybe unpack it a little bit. Like what features about the tablet that you're using and things like that really help the franchisee, and then can subsequently really help the person that's being cared for.
Yeah, that's a great question. So it all really boils down to Tendio more so than the tablet. So the software that was designed, and again, it's Tendio, Tendio, is our own proprietary software. So literally, Jeff Salter created this, and it like I said, it completely makes a paperless office. So the tablet is just a nondescript Android, just generic tablet. But it does a ton of things. So not only can it track applicants, so we're talking like if Michael has a care manager at one of the locations that he helps to oversee, that care manager can hop on the tablet with Tendio and see where those applicants that our own hub services is bringing them to interview for caregivers. So that's huge. So that's real time, up to the minute applicant tracking, but it also will onboard that applicant if they get through the entire process, including national background checks and things like that. It's all encompassed in Tendio. And then on the client side, we can onboard a client, and what that'll do is we'll literally create an individualized care plan for that client. We'll also do a home inspection for safety issues, things of that nature. And then on top of that, there's a family portal so that, loved ones, obviously we have to worry about HIPAA laws, but the loved ones are allowed certain access to certain information to see how the care plan went for that day, or, is mom or dad or grandma and grandpa doing well. The days of the 3-ring binders or the loose leaf notebook are gone for us. So we've been doing this since 2018, and there's nobody out there that even comes close. We also have the HR function as well. So not only can the client, and it stays at the house of the client, actually. So the caregiver is going to clock in and clock out at the client's home. The caregiver is going to add the notes from the visit at the client's home. We also can do referral service management. So your marketing person that goes out and finds referrals can add that into Tendio as well too. We can the caregiver can look at their schedule, what the hours they've worked, what they haven't worked, to make sure the days and times jive so that they're getting paid correctly. We can bill the client, so every 2 weeks ACH through Tendio out of their account. And then there's also detailed reporting. So Michael or whoever can run at the boots on the ground level can run reports about just about anything. And last but not least, we have a video calling mechanism within this tablet as well too. So as you know, in this industry, loved ones live a long way away from each other, and so then maybe they can't get to grandma or grandpa's doctor's appointment. So our caregiver is going to take them to the appointment. Then there's a video calling feature where that loved one can come in through a video and be there during the doctor's visit and talk about how we're going to implement the prognosis, or what we're going to do for the plan to help them with this new condition that they might have contracted or they need to work on. So there's a lot of great things inside the technology of Tendio. And again, if we want to change something, it's a phone call to our CEO. It's not a ticket into a third-party company somewhere else and wait. This is instantaneous. Well, I shouldn't say instantaneous, but it's pretty darn quick with change and adaptation. So hopefully that made sense. I know I kind of get all fired up about Tendio, because I'm telling you, man, it is an absolute game changer out there, and people just don't know the power of this software.
I think that's amazing, and well, really amazing. So what I'm hearing from that side of the world is especially attractive to, a potential franchisee who's looking at like what are the differentiators between maybe Caring Senior Service and some of the other competitors that might be out there. That Tendio platform is really, really helpful. Michael, why don't you tell us a little bit about maybe some experience you've seen with how that translates to like customer satisfaction? Are the folks being cared for? How does the Tendio platform and that process integration that you all have with your caregivers really resulting in like better and more improved care for the seniors?
Well, one thing I can tell you without a doubt that Tendio has helped with in that side, caregiver no-shows. And so in the past, and this is just, industry-wide in the past, a caregiver may be late for a shift, or maybe something happens and the caregiver doesn't even show up for a shift. In the past, be alerted to that fact. That means that senior's alone for a couple of hours. That the case managers or the care managers do the entire shift. And, sometimes seniors don't want to get their caregivers in trouble. And so they may not call. Maybe they haven't had coverage for a couple of days. Well, Tendio eliminates that because Tendio allows for the caregiver to be able to clock in directly into the tablet in real time, and it's geo-fenced. And so anytime a caregiver clocks in further than 100 meters from that tablet, it's going to alert someone in the office. And so that allows us to take action really quickly. We're able to say, okay, caregiver A didn't show up for this shift. Let's call the client and find out what's going on. Let's call the family and let them know. In the meantime, we're dispatching another caregiver out there, or our care manager is on the way out there to the home. And so it really does minimize the amount of time that a senior may be left alone. And that's very critical in of course, in our industry, especially when medications need to be given. Mind you, we don't give medications, but we give medication reminders. And so those medications have to be given at a certain time. It's generally maybe at the beginning of the shift, maybe at the end of the shift, but Tendio allows for us to be on top of it, whereas in the past, that might not have been the case. I'm a bit of a dinosaur, so I've been here. I was here before we had Tendio, and so it was a lot of complaints. We had a cookie cutter type of platform that was kind of like the industry standard. But like Scott said, we couldn't just call and make changes because that platform was being used in home health. It was being used in home care. It was being used in various different other industries. And so if they made a change, they had to make it across the board, and it would affect everyone. In addition to that, we will be giving away inside information on how we operate, how we function. If we go and we say, hey, I'm gonna say Sonetto because that was the name of one of our platforms at the time. If we called them and said, hey, look, we want to add.
Awesome. It's interesting. You guys are. You don't typically associate a lot of excellent technology and a lot of excellent innovation inside of technology when it comes to senior care and at-home care. That's just not, those two worlds don't typically jive together in most people's perception. So I think that one thing I'm picking up on anyways, which I think is really cool about Caring Senior Service, is you all have kind of identified a gap in at-home care and what that could be. And then you also identified a gap in the technology piece in where that could be and where that can take you.
And Trevor, quite honestly, what it does, and we haven't even talked about how it can help the caregiver with learning and new skills and things like that. And we have a rewards program as well attached to Tendio for the caregivers. But what it does is it creates efficiencies inside the franchisee's business. So again, they can work on their business and in their business at the same time. But again, it goes back to creating those relationships, because we know deep down, and maybe it's a little corny, but this is how we operate at Caring Senior Service, is that this could be your mom or your dad, and you want the best for them. You want that caregiver or that company that you're going to pay on an hourly basis that's going to be with your loved one, that they're trustworthy, that they're focused on that individual for that set amount of time. And this efficiency with Tendio and all the other things that we have going on at Caring Senior Service allows for them to focus on the relationship, whether that be with the client or the caregiver, or, in Michael's case with all of his salespeople, going out and finding new referrals.
For sure. I love that I'm even learning about this, because Katie's gonna have to start taking care of me sooner than later. When I'm fully broken down, we can just implement this software and it'd be fantastic. She's really excited for that day to come. Anyway, so, okay, cool. So, we've established a couple, points here that are really fundamental and excellent for any successful franchise brand. And that is, you have outstanding leadership, you have passionate leadership. You all clearly have a great culture around that leadership, or you two wouldn't be speaking so highly of what that is and where how it functions. You've also been able to leverage technology to your benefit, both when it comes to attracting new franchisees, which is super important for any brand to grow, as well as ensuring that the franchisee themselves is set up for great success, their relationships are excellent, and you all can really manage inside that ecosystem. Maybe talk to me a little bit then about just where's Caring Senior Service go from here? I mean, obviously you got a great model and you're on your way and you're doing well. What are the growth plans for the brand, and where do you guys see yourself the next, maybe 5 years or so?
Well, if you haven't heard this stat already, I'll be shocked. But if you have, it's even bigger than what we're even saying on the podcast right now. But there are 12,000 people a day in the United States that turn 65 years old. It's a massive amount of people, and we still have roughly 15 or 20 years more of a population surge in this demographic. So we clearly know that we're ramping on a very, very big trajectory, and we're looking to double our current numbers in, call it, 4 years. So we're going to go from about 50, 52 to over 100 in 4 years, and we don't think that's going to be a problem at all. We know that it's coming into what Michael said. We're finding that the franchisees that we talk to, or the candidates that we talk to, have had situations where they've had to try to find caregivers. They've tried to find someone to help out mom or dad, or mom or dad's, if they're not the client, they're the spouse of the client, and they need, quite honestly, some decompression time so they can go out and run the errands that they can't do now. So it's only going to get worse. And I'll be candid, everyone at HQ, like I said, all the franchisees, we've all had personal experiences with this, so we know it. And at the end of the day, we want to bring our best foot forward with everybody. So we're going to continue to strive to, like I said, double in the next 4 years. We do national and regional meetings to get the feedback from the franchisees, so we can know. The goalposts move from time to time, so we need to be in sync with our franchisees to know how we're going to be better, not only at the corporate or the headquarters side of it, but as the franchise family as a whole. We have big things we're working. A vast majority of our clients are private pay clients. We are growing our regional and national alliances right now, and we have well over 600 territories available across the continental U.S., and that even includes some states that we're not in because of licensure issues or whatever the case may be. So we have a ton of growth in front of us, and quite honestly, we need folks like you and Katie to help spread the word, because I think we're a sleeping giant, and then just no one knows what we're about. And I joke with folks, we don't need to be the number one name in the industry. There's room for everybody. Matter of fact, I don't believe there's enough companies doing what we're doing right now, because of the vast majority of seniors are yet to get here. But I joke, I don't have to be the Coke or the Pepsi. we're okay being Snapple, right? So we don't need to be the biggest. We just need to be the one that people remember the most. So that's kind of how I look at it, and that's that empathy that we bring to the client, we bring to the potential franchise candidates, we bring to the franchisees. We're with you. It's not adversarial. We know that our success wholly based on our franchisee success. That's why we do 5-year franchise agreements, not 10. You're not put, get golden handcuffs for 10 years. It's a 5-year commitment, and it's only a $2,500 rule. So it's not a money grab either. We help you with the licensure from beginning to end. We don't just farm it out to a third-party company that you have to pay more money for. It's all built into the franchise fee. So for us, it really is a labor of love. It's a passion we have, not only for our franchisees, but for our clients. And I think it shows. And that's kind of how we live our lives. Blue collar, work hard, and stay humble.
Outstanding. One thing I think that's so important too. So you've got your model set, you've got, you've got where you want to go set and your growth objectives, et cetera. And I think it's also really important, as you mentioned, kind of getting your name out there, things like that, but to also reach out to your fellow, kind of your fellow comrades in the franchise space and understand, participating in things like, the IFA and different organizations like this that really bolster up the franchise community. Talk to me maybe a little bit about just the importance maybe of your leadership team or just the culture of Caring Senior Service, where you say, hey, we want to be a part of this broader community as well. So we can, as we're growing, we can really understand from others who have grown and gotten to the places we want to go as well.
Yeah. So that's a great point. We have really started to, like I say, ramp up the franchise, the franchisee suit this last, call it 8 or 9 months. We're in multiple organizations, IFA, FranServe, IFPG, FBA. I'm out there, as Michael talks about, his sales people, I'm out there on the phone building relationships with consultants, with brokers, with other franchisors wanting to know more, because there's enough business to go around to everybody. It doesn't have to be adversarial at all. And there are things I can learn from them, just hopefully like there are things they can learn from me. So it is definitely incumbent on us to go out and network and find the franchisors that we have common ground just as much as the candidates. Talked about getting involved. Jeff Salter is very involved in this industry, and it was funny. We just got his list of speaking engagements. Back in, Michael, was it 20 or it was 2020? He actually biked to every single franchise location to bring awareness to senior care, and he called it Closing the Gap. And he started a nonprofit as well too, actually working with Lowe's to install grab bars at no cost to seniors across all of our franchise locations. So it's not just about in the franchise space; it's about extending what we can do for that demographic, because they are absolutely represented there.
For sure. Michael, do you want to kind of maybe put a pin on that and leave us with a few kind of closing thoughts about just not just like where you guys are with the franchise community, because I think Scott addressed that, but just maybe what's exciting you and kind of what maybe you're excited about for the growth and just the broader involvement that Caring Senior Service is having kind of as you all grow and inside the franchise community, et cetera?
All right. Yeah. One of the things I am excited about is we're kind of in the same vein of technology and Tendio. We're always trying to, push forward and allow seniors to be independent.
So guys, Caring Senior Service, I've learned a lot. I think we all have. And the key here, in my opinion, if I'm going to wrap it up and put a bow on what we've been talking about, and that is we've got excellence when it comes to the fundamental of any successful business, and that is strong leadership, strong care level about how you're going to provide the service you're going to provide and who you're providing it to, and really caring about that end customer, which is our loved ones and our seniors. You're also leveraging technology that's unique in this space, which is phenomenal. Anyone who's out there who may be curious about why Caring Senior Service is something that could be unique, that technology leverage is there, and it's something that permeates throughout the experience, not just for the customer, but also the franchisee and those who are in support roles like Michael with sales, et cetera. So phenomenal job there. And then, the leadership team, like you mentioned, actively taking a role and wanting to say, hey, we've got plans. We're going to grow. We are going to be the industry leader over time in this space. That's what we want to do. And we're going to get engaged with our community around us to make it happen. So Scott, Michael, what can I say? It's going to be a franchise success, not a bust. That's why we're on Franchise or Bust. We want to know that you guys are going to succeed. And for what we've talked about here today, there's no way that you're going to fail. And so thank you so much for being with us. Katie, as always, biting questions, and I hope you guys could have handled it. And I'm glad you were there to listen. And we were excited to have both of you. Well, thank you again so very much for your time.
Thanks, Trevor. Thanks, Katie.
Awesome. All right, everybody. See you on the next Franchise or Bust. Thank you.
Come on.